Hello and welcome to Japanese from Zero. I'm George Trombley and this is Hitokoto, which means one thing. We're only going to talk about one thing today, and that one thing is... I'm gonna make this work, I promise. That one thing is MASHI. Oops. Welcome welcome to Hitokoto. It's been a while. It's been many months since we did the last Hitokoto, which I did actually, I believe, in Korea. And I've already had a trip after that trip, so it's been maybe a year since the last Hitokoto. You guys can remind me in the comments. But today's Hitokoto, where we talk about only one thing, is MASHI. Now, this came up yesterday. I was talking to my wife, and I said something MASHI, and I thought, we never taught MASHI, but you hear it in Japanese, and maybe you don't know what it means. Now, it does come from a word, but we're not going to talk about that, because it really doesn't matter. All that matters is that MASHI is used. Even Japanese people have asked, where does MASHI come from? So even they don't know. So I don't think it's that important that you know, unless you're one of those guys that needs to know. I will have a source at the end of this that will give you some more information about where you can waste your energy learning about the history of where MASHI comes from. But let me go ahead and explain what this is, and first I will explain it in Japanese, okay? The definition would be this. 良くないけど、他のものよりはいいです。良くないけど、他のものよりはいいです。It's not good, but it's better than the other thing. So this is when we're talking about two things that are both basically bad, okay? If something was good, you would say, oh, this is good. But this is when you're faced with two choices, and one of those choices is bad. You call the better choice MASHI, all right? So for example, you could say, どっちがマシですか? どっちがマシですか? Out of the two, which one is better? Now, you could just say どっちがいいですか? But that, nuance-wise, is saying which one is good. We're not asking which one is good. We're asking which one is better out of the two choices that are not that good, all right? And you could then respond with こっちの方がマシです。こっちの方がマシです。Now you'll notice that we have の方が, which we cover in book 3 of Japanese from Zero. We cover yori and の方が. の方が is just pointing. It's basically a way of pushing towards that object. It doesn't really change the meaning at all in English. If you have こっちがマシです versus こっちの方が. But when you say の方が, it means on this direction one is better, okay? So I could have said どっちの方がいいですか? But どっちがいいですか is perfectly fine. And こっちがマシです。こっちがいいです is both good. The key point we're trying to learn here, though, is what MASHI does. And honestly, it feels weird for me to say こっちがMASHI. It really feels weird without having the の方 there. But どっちの方がMASHI, I feel like you don't need the の方. So it's kind of a, see what works for you. Post in the comments what your friends have responded to you with if you ask them. I recommend go into Hello Talk, for example, and try to use this MASHI, which you'll have to set it up. You will have to bring up a situation and maybe try to get them to say MASHI. All right, here's a good one. 死んだ方がマシです. This is a great phrase. 死んだ方がマシです. It will be better to die. Notice that death, not a good option, right? Death is not a good option, but it's better. And of course, we're speaking very metaphorically. We don't really mean this, of course. Of course, death wouldn't be better than dating George Trombley. But trust me, I would not be surprised to hear this after I said, 一緒に映画でも見に行きませんか? 死んだ方がマシだ. All right, now, we talked just a second ago that ho and yori were taught, I believe, in lesson 6 of Japanese from Zero, book 3. You can go to the Japanese from Zero video series and check out that video. Don't ask me what number it is. It's probably like number 70 or something like that. It's within the 60 to 90 range. But we have ho and yori, and here's an example of a totally different grammar. Everything changes, but it has the same meaning. It has a different meaning, actually. 死んだ方がマシです means it would be better to die. 死んだ方がマシです. If you say 死ぬよりは mashi desu, then you mean it's better than dying. So maybe you broke your leg or you got sick, but you're not dead. It's better than dying. Shinu yori wa mashi desu. All right. If you know how ho and yori works, unlike me, who somehow forgot how it works right in the middle of a live broadcast, you'll understand these two sentences. All right. Now let's go ahead and move on to something like this. You wouldn't be too sad to hear. This might be nice. I mean, it does mean you're kind of the better out of two choices, but anata no hou ga mashi desu. I guarantee I've actually heard this not in a joking way, but maybe I'm bad at something and I say, oh, I'm just not good at this thing, and maybe they're saying, well, compared to so and so, anata no hou ga mashi desu. You are better. Okay? It's not necessarily a good thing though. Okay? Or they might say, mashi na hou da yo. Okay? Out of all the bad ones I've seen, anata wa mashi no hou da yo. You're one of the better ones. Okay? Now, while I was looking up some interesting phrases to use with mashi, I found something interesting that I'd like to share with you. But I need to teach you a little bit of things, a little bit of food culture. Have you seen this before? This is very simply called chicken ramen. Chicken ramen. We can see here that it's one of those instant packages. Now, the difference between chicken ramen, this style of ramen, and the ramen that we're used to getting from Nissin Ramen or Maruchan Ramen is that normally the noodles are not pre-flavored, okay? You cook the noodles and then you put the packet in with the powder. This has the flavoring caked onto the noodles, okay? As a matter of fact, you could probably crumble these up and eat them yourself, okay? Which is exactly what I do with baby star. Baby star. So baby star is another one of those instant things. Now a lot of people, they sell them in small packs for very cheap amount of money, and you just open it up and you eat it as is. It's just very crunchy, tasty, and delicious. Or you can, of course, put it in hot water and have instant ramen for it. And as I was looking for great mashi examples, I came across this on Chiebukuro. I don't know why, because Chiebukuro is one of those places where you ask big questions, but this is not a big question. It's chicken ramen te mazuku nai desu ka? Isn't chicken ramen not good? Doesn't it taste mazui, bad taste? Like, why is that a Chiebukuro question? And then his full question is, chicken ramen te mazuku nai desu ka? Baby star no hou ga mashi desu. Bingo! There's the mashi, right? So, isn't chicken ramen not good, right? Baby star is better of the two, right? It's the better of the two. Not necessarily good, but better of the two. And the fact that someone answered this, what I think is an unnecessary question. I mean, this is like Yahoo Answers, right? You're like, when a baby is in the fallopian tube in the wrong direction, like, it's big thing. I don't even know if that made sense, but it's big things. It's not these small things like, is chicken ramen not taste good? All right, so here's the answer, which it doesn't have it doesn't have mashi in it, but I thought it was a good answer. Mazui to wa omoimasen. I don't think it's bad tasting. Mukashi kara suki de tabete imasu. I've liked it from a long time ago, and I eat it. Tamani, sometimes, taberu to suggoku oishiku kanjimasu. Sometimes when I eat it, it really feels really delicious, okay? Baby star mo oishii desu ga. Baby star is also delicious. However, tabenikui no mo atte ammari tabemasen. It's a little bit hard to eat. And so I don't eat it that much. Now, I don't know if he means that there's some flavors that he can't eat or that the packaging itself makes it hard to eat. But we have a little bit of an internet thing down here too at the bottom. Wara. This is the kanji for laugh. Wara. And you just type wara and find the right character, put it in parentheses, and that's like the Japanese version of LOL. Even though there is WWW, they type www, a bunch of W's, that's the W for warau, to laugh. And that's the kanji for warau. All right, if you would like to know the sources, I believe the first one is where they talk about where mashi actually comes from. There's actually a word that it comes from. You can go look that up if you would like. And the second one is the one that we just looked at, the great deep life question of, is chicken ramen better or worse than Baby Star. All right, if you'd like to learn more Japanese, you know where to go. Our books are on Amazon. They are also on Book Depository if you're living in countries that don't have an Amazon, which is weird because Book Depository is owned by Amazon, but it's still independently run. Also, we do have another book distributor that you can buy books from in the UK. I believe they service all of Europe, I think. They are Bay Books. You can go ahead and look them up. Thank you for watching Japanese from Zero. Bye-bye.